Hello, and this is the Victories Ours podcast where we discuss CSGO news. I am Empire, and
And I am Hikari.
I was like waiting for you to say something. um,
Sorry.
so first on the topic of our podcast, it would be DreamHack Austin, as it just passed a few days ago, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was last weekend.
Yeah. And there, the, so one of the things that stood out at DreamHack Austin was a few bugs that occurred during some pro matches, which was quite. It didn't hugely alter any of the matches, but well, I think one of them kind of did. But like,
For a pro match, I think it's kind of strange how these bugs actually happened.
yeah, it's like the
Like,
only time
that
they
they
ever
let
do.
them happen.
Yeah,
But,
one being
yeah.
a Dren spawning B site before. What was it? Was that round one? I think it was.
No, I think it was after a timeout.
Oh right,
He
yeah,
just happened to randomly spawn.
yeah. Because I think he got disconnected or something, or the game
It was
crashed.
something really weird like that. It was already like, there was already a problem before. So it wasn't like in the middle of a match, but
Yeah,
it was kind of strange.
it was. I've never seen that like bug ever happen, even in like just normal matchmaking or anything, which is interesting. It's probably like the only time I've seen it, and happen in a pro game is actually really nice because then the attention is much larger. Like a lot of people will have seen it and it'll bring more attention to it being fixed. Although it's not that common, so it's not a huge deal, but it'll probably get fixed a lot
Just the
faster.
just the fact that it happened in a pro match for money
Yeah,
is
it's amusing.
strange.
Yeah. I found it amusing, just like to have, because like it like you get the reaction of all the people and like that kind of thing. What was the other
And
bug?
the other bug is the bomb spawning bug. What
That's
happened
right.
was um what team was it? It
Optic.
was
Optic.
Optic against Astralis.
Yeah.
It was the first match of the whole day, and they spawned without the bomb. And there's actually a reason that this happened. Um, I was reading Reddit comments, and with the ESL presets, like the config
Mm-hmm.
for ESL for the knife round,
Yep.
you shut the bomb off, obviously, because you don't want to have the ability to plant the bomb. So in ESL's config, they don't have it set up to turn that setting back on. So
Okay.
basically, the setting for spawning with the bomb was just 0 instead of 1.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Because yeah, they were kind of saying that like the bomb was on the map, that they had it, but somebody dropped it and it didn't show up on the radar, so they couldn't find it. That's what people were kind of saying. Like that's what it sounded like the announcers were talking about. That it
Yeah,
just didn't
but
show up
I
on the
think
radar.
it was the config that
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like that. Like it wasn't
that's what the
like
casters thought.
yeah. Well, like what I'm saying is like it didn't. It wasn't like the bomb just never spawned in the map. It's just, it wasn't showing up on the radar from
Hmm.
what it sounded like. I don't know which is
Hmm.
completely true, but like it didn't show up on the radar because of that config. Uh,
Yeah.
but that was also kind of like a. Did they win that round? I don't think they did.
Yeah, they actually did.
Oh, they would have had to reset though, wouldn't they? I mean, I guess.
I'm
I
not
guess.
sure if they reset, but the problem is that Optic, it was there's an odd shot of it, but it was a 4v2, I think. Optic were on A site on Inferno,
Mm,
and they could have planted the bomb, but they couldn't. So like
yeah,
they kind of were screwed in that
I
sense.
feel like in that case, like if they lost, they would have
They
reset the
like
round.
that two players died, yeah, but I don't know. I think it's kind of strange that two people died, um, which
That
kind of could like screw up.
that could like throw away the round completely.
Yeah.
Like say like if it's like a 2v1, there's the last two guys are on B site, the guy with
And they
is
don't
on
even
A
have the
site
bomb.
and they don't have
Yeah.
bomb, then they have to go try to kill those two guys, or those two guys will just
Yeah.
like run around the map just waiting. It's like, oh, he's not planting, so like we got all the time in the world. We just have to wait out the round. As long as we don't die, we're good. So, but
Yeah.
that's also a thing. Like,
It's just good
would
that it.
they would they reset the round if they lost, and then if they
I
won, they
think they
wouldn't
would
reset the
have.
round?
Well, it would have been argued.
Yeah,
They
I feel
probably
like they
would have
should have just
reset it.
reset anyway. Like they should have just reset like no
Yeah,
matter
it was the
what.
first round of the game. I'm
Because
not sure if they did
I
though.
feel like the only time they would reset is if they lost, and then they'd be like, "Well, we lost a round because we didn't have the bomb or something." Like, or like one of our players
Yeah.
didn't spawn; he died from nothing, like kind of thing. Like that's always something interesting when like if they lose the round, that's when they're like, "Oh well, we should probably give them another shot." But if they win the round, it's like, well, they won the round. Does it matter? Like, well, we don't know if they had one if they would have run around if they got the bomb planted. They just kind of killed everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Another thing that happened
mhm.
at Austin was all the NA upsets,
Yep.
which Optic beat Australis, which is pretty crazy, I think. I mean, Optic are a no-name team, and Australis were. I don't know if they still are. I wouldn't consider them a top three team. Former TSM.
I haven't been able to follow much of optics matches, but I know Astralis. Well, Astralis is what former
Former TSM.
TSM, and they were like really good. They were like one of the top teams prior to the switch to Astralis back when they were TSM, and now it's like you don't hear much about Astralis anymore. They're kind of meh, and to have Optic beat them is also kind of interesting because Optic isn't even like they haven't been doing that great recently as well.
Yeah.
So that's something. But like even like all these underdog teams that you wouldn't expect to win, like just are winning out of nowhere, which is interesting.
Yeah, like Liquid with the last major.
Yeah.
They made it really far in the last major, and I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like sadly they lost, but I mean
They
everybody
still
was
made
really
it
hyped.
far.
Yeah, like for an NA team to get like
Yeah.
that far in a major, which is like what like the last time we saw that prior was probably like
Um,
a
I
long
think it
time
was
ago.
Cloud9
Cloud9 what yeah like
to make it out of into
ESL.
semifinals, but
Oh, that's right.
that
Yep.
was like Cologne 2014, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, very very far away. Like yeah, recently NA's just been just quite the picnic. Like it's
They either lose or they win.
like yeah, like I
It's
said,
all up in
like
the air.
it just they just feel like they're kind of prancing. They're just kind of like riding their time. Like we play video games for a living. We'll just just whatever. We're getting paid to do to play video games. Like that's what we do. Like they don't have that drive to actually win all the time. Like it's like, oh, we lost. Well, whatever. We're still getting paid. It's like they're kind of like if it was something like we're boxing where like if you lose you get paid, yeah, but you get a lot more if you win. That's something that would be an interesting like change maybe. Like I don't know if it'll cause much of a change in terms of certain players, but it might give them more incentive to actually try to win. I mean, the best incentive would be actually having a passion for the game, but it just feels like NA
Oh
is
yeah.
just like it's like we just we get to play, we get to pay to travel to different places like Germany and other places and whatever, and play video games, play Counter Strike, whatever we want. Maybe talk on the little announcers table or whatever, and that's we get paid. Like easy money, easy life. Like, and I feel like that's what they're doing. It's like, and a good example would be, I mean, it's not NA, but Renegades when they were complaining about how they were boot camping all the time, and then there's just photos of them lounging in the pool, like like poolside and whatnot, and like it's like you're not. I mean, where's the boot camping photos when you got all these photos of you guys relaxing? And it's like we get it. You've been, probably like boot camping a lot prior, but when you got here, you probably didn't boot camp that much because you want to relax. We get it, but
hmm
um,
I just think a majority of the NA doesn't have the mindset to win that
yeah,
EU does, and I think that's a big difference. Um,
they gotta get some of
that
that.
I think that's the main difference because you look at EU players and they want to win, but you look at some NA players and it just doesn't feel like they want to win, or like some of the stuff you hear from behind the scenes of like
Mm-hmm.
not practicing. Like when Optic said they didn't even practice. Like that's really strange in my
Yeah,
opinion.
and just going on to the NA, going on to NA, continuing on NA, is Twitch Streamer Summit. Got to play with oh god, what's the team name?
Splice.
Splice, yeah. And he did really good apparently. Like from what I remember, I didn't watch the all of it, but he did pretty good
He
for
held
his
his
first
weight
time.
for
Yeah,
not being a pro.
he wasn't he wasn't like destroying everybody, but he was doing good. And as a non pro player, as just a Twitch streamer, did a really good job, and I'm proud of him. But his little faux pas at match point was really funny because he just walked straight into a molly and not know after the round is won. Or no, the round wasn't won. He had to go to defuse, um, which was interesting because it led to a lot of embarrassing feelings for the Twitch streamer, and a call out now for Train called Summit, which is interesting. But I mean, I think other than that, like I think he had a really good, time with just the pro scene in general, just to feel, get a feel of it. And I mean, that pretty much sums up NACS for you. Like,
Yeah, what I thought was really interesting was when I was watching. Okay, so Splice had two subs. They had
mhm,
Summit subbing, who's not a pro player.
okay,
He's Twitch streamer, and then they
right,
also had Freakazoid subbing in.
that's right,
So
yeah,
Splice had three of their original members, and they were contending against teams like CLG, who
mhm,
are arguably one of the better NA teams, one of the top three, I'd say. Liquid,
yeah,
Cloud9, and CLG. Maybe not at the moment, but CLG were having a tough time beating Splice, who had two subs,
yeah.
so it wasn't even their like full roster. And Splice was putting up a good fight, which that says a lot about NACS, I think.
Oh, for sure. Like I mentioned to you before, how like even NA's top three teams, despite them doing arguably, like, just not even arguably, just really bad, no other teams below them can surpass them. Whereas EU, you'd see them, like, you see that the shuffle like constantly changing, um, well, almost constantly. Like Fnatic's always been kind of top up there, but you know, like, if the top three EU teams start doing shit, then the below them would rise up and they'd get even close to, you know, beating them out for their tier. But in NA, it's like, nope. Cloud9, CLG, and Liquid are still the top teams, and Liquid's like recent too. Liquid, like, was what, like last year, I believe they came out. Maybe a year and a half ago.
Liquid has, yeah, they've had a lot of roster changes. They just lost Simple too.
Yeah, apparently. And oh, speaking of which, I saw on the subreddit that who was it? I think it was a Dren that mentioned. Might not have been a Dren, but he mentioned that Simple was actually worse than people thought. He was actually, like how people talk about how his personality is. That they were saying that he was
Mhm.
actually way worse than, like, people didn't see exactly how bad he was in terms of
Yeah,
sportsmanship.
how he played.
Yeah, and he's too spoiled and that he has a lot of growing up to do, is what he said. So, like, that's also interesting. Like, the players, like, and he left because he went back home and he missed his
Yeah, he wanted to be home.
yeah, like, which is an interesting. I mean, I get it, but, like, you'd think that he acted about, like, how lucky he was to be moving to America, and then he's like, nah, screw it, I don't wanna do it. So,
Yeah. Anyways, DreamHack Austin ended with LG beating Optic.
hmm that would, I mean,
Um,
that's kind of like, it was gonna happen. I mean, if
yeah,
if Optic
LG's.
beat LG, that would have been a really good match, or maybe a really
Yeah, it
bad
would have
one,
been a
depending on
crazy
how you look
upset.
at it. But but no, I mean, I
And
kind of knew it
then
wasn't gonna happen. But
yeah, and then moving into ESL Pro League finals,
hmm
which happened Sunday. What day is it?
it's 15th.
May 16th.
Well, it's May 16th
Oh,
now, but uh, it was the
15th.
15th.
Okay, May 15th.
We're recording this
LG
fast.
beat G2, and
hmm In
I think it's interesting that G2
an
made it.
amazing best of five. Just
Yeah, it was pretty good. But I think it's crazy that G2 made it all the way there because if you look back at G2, you look at last major, which wasn't even that long ago, and you look at all their previous matches, they have not been performing at all.
yeah.
They lose like a lot of their matches. And looking at the ESL Pro League final teams, like, or just the ESL Pro League finals, Jesus, just the ESL Pro League teams before the finals, you wouldn't expect G2 to make it that far.
Yeah, for sure.
You would
Like,
expect someone like Fnatic, who is in the Astralis.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
granted, Fnatic had Olaf wasn't present for
well,
for
yeah, he hasn't
recent
been for a
matches.
while, but yes, but you'd expect them to still, I
Yeah,
don't know,
be a threat essentially.
beat G2.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You wouldn't expect G2 to make it to where they did, and it was a really close match. It was 2-3 for maps, and it went into overtime on the fifth map. So it was extremely close. Like G2 put up a great fight against LG, who's arguably the top team right now um, in all of CS.
Yeah, and it goes to show you that, like, uh, even, them being former Titan, most of them, they, Titan being a team that was a force to reckon, excuse me, to be reckoned with a few years ago. Like, even last year, they were like a pretty big threat. Um,
Yeah, but then French Shuffle happened, and then they kind of just
Yeah, and
disappeared. And since then, they've kind of all been under the radar until I guess now.
yeah, and but like you think like, you know, just they were these this like force that was like always like it goes to show you that people can, like, even the best players can, you know, do bad, not necessarily bad,
Yeah,
but can, you know, can have
plateau
that, like,
almost.
yeah, like they can go up and down, they can be fluctuating, and, you know, and even and some people think that, like, that once they've dropped because they're like that was their peak prior. Now they're going down. They're no longer going to be uh,
As good as they once were.
yeah, they're not going to be as good as they once were, exactly. And but now it shows to, like, you know, they were contending against one of the top team currently in CS, in all of CS, LG, and in an amazing best of five. It went all to all 5 games. It wasn't just like a 3-0. It was actually a 3-2 final score, and like, and even in the last match it went into overtime. So that was like they were fighting for that win and they wanted it. And, you know, in honestly, the fact that they lost was still okay in my books, because they grew a lot since, you know, how many months ago that they were just like just in whatever, like no one cares anymore. And even
Yeah,
after the
just their
shuffle of,
overall
yeah,
performance.
and I'm not even talking about, like, and this is like after G2 took up former Titan. This was like, you know, what was G2 before? I forget the team. Um,
Penguin.
no, but like the players, who are they now?
Oh, it was all the players on phase.
Yeah, that's right. So, but yeah, and there's just so many shuffles nowadays that, like, it's so confusing for me, at least, that I don't know where anybody is anymore. And I think NA needs that shuffle though. NA needs a big shuffle. Like, I would like to see, like, C9, Liquid, and um CLG and all the other NA teams just like have a big mix up, because, like, it's just it's not working out clearly for the top 3 teams very well. I mean, maybe Liquid would be okay staying where they are, but C9 needs a shuffle, is for sure. And CLG, I don't know. CLG can kind of go either way. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing them have a shuffle, but they could probably stay where they are, but they wouldn't probably do that great. So, but that's me going back to NA. Um, but yeah, no, the ESL finals were very intense, and even LG were making some weird plays. Like, there was that one round, I think it was map 2, that they kind of let the, like, they let time run out too, or like run too short, and like they ended up losing the round, not getting the bomb planted, and losing that round, which was interesting to see. I don't know what their plan was, but it clearly didn't
Yeah,
work out.
sometimes things just don't work out. They have
Yeah,
strats and they don't go as quickly as I thought,
that's true.
but that happens. Going on to things that are happening in NA E-League, which is
Yes,
the league
Turner
on,
with
yeah,
TBS.
TBS.
Is that gonna be live?
And yeah, it's going to be on
Okay,
TBS. I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
I haven't really followed E-League that much, and I don't watch TBS, so I
I
don't
mean,
really know. But
yeah. I mean, I may watch it for sure.
um, I think it's interesting how it's esports is escaping the internet and trying to
Yeah.
get to a broader audience.
Mhm.
And I don't know if E-League will work, like on TBS. I think it's an interesting attempt, and it's cool that people like Shaq and a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
that's
people
right.
who are NBA casters are kind of getting involved with the scene.
Not even just NBA, but what's the name?
NFL,
Yeah, NFL. The football player who's now part of Optic, was it? Did he join? No,
yeah, I believe it's Optic.
I think so.
He's sponsoring. I think it's either Optic or some other NA team.
Yeah, it's definitely an
Um,
NA team. I don't remember who exactly.
yeah, but a lot of
Should have written it down.
it's escaping essentially the internet and becoming a bigger thing outside of video games,
Yeah,
which I think that's a good step for esports. It's interesting.
yeah, and uh, but I'm curious though with the E League. I'm curious as to how it'll do, because, like, as somebody with, as I know a lot of people have been, like, removing their cable subscriptions. I'm wondering if that'll be a thing, right? Like, if either more people will get cable just to watch it, or if they, I don't even, because I don't know, will they stream it? I'm not sure. Um, I feel like it'd be a good thing to actually stream it as well because not many people who watch CS will usually watch Pro CS on streams
Twitch.
rather than on Twitch rather than Twitch and like MLG a little bit too.
Yeah.
But you've never and it's the first televised yeah, really any esports just
I
not even just
think they had
CS.
Dota 2 on
Oh, did they?
ESPN
Oh,
like
okay,
2 or something like that.
that's interesting.
But it was I don't know. I think they're just trying to cater to the wrong audience, honestly.
Yeah, it's like I mean, because as somebody without cable, I don't have I'd have to watch it if I wanted to afterwards, which I do want to watch it. I want to see what it's like. But I'd have to watch it like
Hmm.
afterwards, like after it comes out on I don't know some platform, some streaming platform of some sort. Um,
Yeah.
or they might stream it. Who knows? I mean, it'd be nice if they streamed it for those who don't have cable, because I don't want to go out of my way buy a new TV and buy cable just to watch it, right? Like, um, but I'm excited for it because yeah, it's escaping that the realm of the internet only kind of situation and going to a
Different
to a thing.
platform.
The only
And it
thing is
could it could
it
add
could
more people
flop.
to the interest of
Yeah,
CSGO
it
too, which
could, but
is
I feel like it also could flop because if you think about it, not many people who are into Pro CS also have TV. I mean, maybe their parents do or something, or like they have it
mhm.
just because like Game of Thrones or something. But
Or people who are into Pro CS are have computers and play CS almost,
yeah, exactly.
or have a phone that they can watch Twitch
Yeah,
on.
because because they're not console games. I mean, I think they have it for console, but it's not widely played console.
It's not the same.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, the amount of players and stuff like that is
Like,
not the same. The
like I don't want
fan
to.
base.
Not to bring up something that's away from CS, but like Notch tweeted out recently that creator of Minecraft, he tweeted out that if you for those of you who play shooters with a controller, you're doing it wrong, and it's true. Like
Yeah.
playing shooters, like I I uh, I went to I went back to my friends wanted to play Division, and I have it on PS4 because I can't run it on my computer at the moment, but going back to a controller for a shooter is so aggravating. Like I hate the game because of the controller. If I could put in a keyboard and mouse when I played the beta on my computer, which I ran really bad, was so much more fun. But that's just like that's how it is with like I don't know. Controllers have that. It's weird once you start going keyboard and mouse. There's so much more
Yeah.
precision in that. But moving on to more Counter Strike. There was an update for the game, but not necessarily for the game. It's for the mechanics, but instead a map uh, update. Well, if Cash had a small update. They added added forklift or added a forklift update, which it was. I mean, it's nice, and it's not done yet. They're actually gonna update it again, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
to but they added also a barrel. Um, I mean, just a few texture updates, right? Like, and they look nice.
Yeah.
They're there. I mean,
The thing about forklift is he's FM Pone has constantly been changing it. Like getting forklift perfect where everyone's happy is just not gonna happen.
yeah,
There's always something wrong with it, something off with it, you know.
yeah. You just gotta hit
And
the nail on the head when you get the majority. Really, like once you get the
yeah,
majority, it's like okay, I'm done. I'm out. Cause yeah, you
yeah,
can't please everybody. It's like it's just not a thing. Like there's just out of if you had 100 people and they were there for one reason, you did that thing. There's gonna be that one person who's like, no, I don't want to do this. Like I don't like it. Like it's always gonna happen. You're never gonna have I mean, you may get everybody to agree, but there's always that one person who like secretly is like, I don't like this, but he's not gonna speak out to it, or they're not gonna speak out about it. So it's like you just gotta do it, and then if there's a big majority that don't like it, then change it. If there's a big
hmm
majority that like it, keep it. Whatever. There's gonna be some people who hate it. Like some people hate the new nuke. I don't. I personally dislike the new nuke, kind of, because it's kind of one-sided in my opinion. But that's like, but they're gonna keep it because it's it'll be a lot to change. So
yeah. And I just feel like that's probably the most updated thing on Cash is that forklift.
yeah, I mean
He's just constantly changing like small things with it, but it's I'd say it's
yeah,
the
and
most
why
updated.
forklift isn't even that big of a. I mean, It's like,
It
I
it
mean,
can be. It depends,
I mean,
I
it's kind of
guess.
iconic to the map because there's no other map with a forklift on it. But like at the same time,
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, it's I guess it's pretty
because
well
people used to
used.
always play it.
That's true.
People used to always play it, and then
That's
he
true.
changed it, and now people don't play it as much. So I think he's trying to find a good medium where it's not too good and it's not too bad of a spot, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would like to have more skill jumps in certain areas. Like for example, the way they did Nuke, how it's like, here we'll give you a way to get to silo, and now everybody plays silo, and it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Because I used to whenever I used to play Nuke, I would never check there, and then now people are constantly playing it, so I keep forgetting to check there, and I'm like, oh, all right, there's like 3 people up there. Well, all right,
Yeah, with every update comes like a new meta for a map almost.
exactly, which is sometimes bad, sometimes good. I personally think that the new Nuke meta is kind of eh. I don't like it
Yeah,
personally, but
it'll take a bit to adjust.
yeah.
That was that was me in Cobble when Cobble updated.
Oh, I like Cobble a lot. I mean, I didn't play original Cobble, so I mean, yeah. Apparently, I didn't even know what old Cobble was. Like, they had that the entire like back area for B, which was interesting.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different stuff.
In
Anyways, back to events in NA.
Yep,
ESL1 New York was
which
announced
is
last
awesome. I totally want to
week.
go.
Yeah, same.
It's
And
not huge.
it's
It's not a $1 million
yeah, it's not a
tournament.
major, but it's $250,000 prize pool,
Yeah, which is still big.
and we don't know the teams yet, but it's ESL1, so there's probably going to be some top tier teams
Yeah,
there.
for sure. Like, yeah, I feel like they have to.
And
If not, that'd be kind of
another
funny.
event, another big event in NA, which is good. They're starting to become a lot more. DreamHack
Mm-hmm.
Austin, the MLG Major, ESL1 New York. You know, a lot of these are,
Yeah, they saw
I
that
think, good for the
MLG.
NA scene.
Yeah, they saw that MLG got a lot of money out of that. So they're like, well,
Yeah,
we want some more money too. And yeah,
yeah.
I want to see more like NA events. Like there's like that was it. That just those two really. I mean, aside from Jirac Austin, so that'd be nice
I think the
to.
rise of popularity in CSGO helped
Oh
expand
yeah,
the
for
scene.
sure. Yeah, it's been rising a lot lately, especially like I remember like I thought it was already really popular back when I started playing, and then like now just like it's TV like I'm overhearing conversations of people who I probably don't play video games like just on the street or something like in a restaurant like I'm hearing people talk about it and I'm like that's really intriguing like it's actually making news and then of course like I forgot to mention but Summit's Molly that made it to ESPN, which ESPN has already been shown interest in esports, but that's it's a primarily uh, athletic sports, not esports, but athletic sports channel, and even they're like, hey, look at this funny thing that happened in Counter Strike the other day, like, so that's like really nice to see. Even if it's like something so small as that, it's like that's nice.
It's still a step in the right direction.
Exactly. Yep. And
Next up,
yep.
Thorin tweeted that Nico is currently better than Olaf or Guardian ever were, even before their injuries,
Mm-hmm.
because they're both injured now with their wrist.
And honestly, I have to.
Um,
I don't know if I agree completely that he's the best over Olaf and Guardian, but I think he's definitely a contender for the best. Like, if anything, they're like kind of like within the same range because Nico has been unbelievably like it just so good lately, especially with the Deagle in hand. He's just he's doing work and and people like to think of him as like a solo team, like that his team is pretty much nothing. That like he's doing all the work essentially, and I like to think he does a lot of the work, like at least 40% maybe compared to the rest of his team. The
yeah,
rest of them is like the other 60 is kind of split evenly amongst the rest of his team. But yeah, he's doing really well. Um, yeah,
I
just
think at the end of the day, though, individual skill doesn't equate for everything. Because okay, you could put Olaf on another team and he wouldn't be good, but Olaf in Fnatic, well, the
yeah,
Fnatic lineup,
that's true.
he he works well with them. Him and JW and Crims, you know, they just like work together,
Yeah,
and that's why he's the best player. Is because he has the team to make him the best player. And same with Guardian, you know, Navi they have the team. where Nico is really, really good individually, but he doesn't have the team, so he might not work. He might be the best like raw skill, but
Yeah,
he's not the best player. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. Like, because like it's a down to its core, it's a team game, right? It's like you're not gonna have one on
Yeah.
ones ever, really. I mean, you'll have the cheeky like 3v3 casters matches, or analysts matches, but you're not gonna have like Olaf versus Guardian in like on some random aim map, right? Like it's not just gonna
Yeah.
be it's never going to be that because like it's not people have popular players and players who are much better than the rest of their others on their team, but you're never going to have like the one player who's just always the best on every single team. It doesn't matter where he goes. Like you have to work with the team, so they have to be good. You can't just have like Olaf with like on Splice, right? Like the Splice is just gonna drag him down, right? Like it's
Yeah,
just
it
not gonna
wouldn't work.
work. So yeah, Olaf's a great player, but yeah, exactly. It has to be the team setting. Like Olaf would be again, Olaf would probably be shit in another team, or maybe he'll be good. Who knows? But like, if his team is weighing him down or anybody else down, then it's not. There are no good players because it's not even a good. It's not like he's a good player. We want him. No, this is a good team. Work on that team. That the team is what you want because it's a 5v5 game. It's not it's not 1v1, right? So people got to keep that in mind. Some people don't realize that. Like it's like essentially people who when you play matchmaking and then you're doing bad or something and you talk and you're like you want to talk like, okay, guys, do this because this is like what you should do, and then they're like they focus on your score. It's like my score doesn't matter. IGLs in pro games like don't do amazing all the time, right? Like some of them will have under 10 while the rest of them have like up to 15 kills. Like it doesn't
Hmm.
matter if you're focusing on how the team plays and you're focusing on what should happen mid game or mid round. It doesn't matter if you have the kills. If the rest of your team is getting kills, that's perfect. As long as you win the round, right? The round is what matters. You can win the round without killing an enemy, pretty much. It's rare, but I mean, you can. It's possible. So, like,
Yeah.
that's that's how like that. People don't realize that. Sadly, not a lot of people do. But you know, so yeah. Next we have Sadakist, one of the best casters currently, or not one of the best. Sorry, he's one of the casters currently. I mean, he's a great caster. Don't get me wrong, but he is going to take a break from casting at the moment. He said that he will attend a few minor events, but as for most of the, I think the major ones, or like
The
he'll
ones
attend
that
at ones that'll
involve
be
travel.
yeah. He'll go to ones that are close by. But yeah, other than that, he misses his dog and wants to stay around home more often. So he'll be gone maybe, well, I don't know, a few months, I guess, or so, maybe a year.
I'm not. He didn't. I don't think he specified how long he wants to take a
No,
break for, but
but he said he'll attend some every few months, like one or
yeah, he's
two.
not. He's not quitting.
Yeah. I mean that's fine, that's totally legit. I mean if
Hmm.
if Simple can do it, he can do it. And Orbit got a new team lineup. NKL, Victor, Bubble, Spy Leader, and Dreamer, which was former EFrag. So Orbit, yeah, that's I don't know what to say about that. I'm not sure. I don't follow these
They're
two
not a very
teams.
big team.
Yeah, they're a very minor team, but yeah, there's so much shuffling going on. It's insane. Like almost like
Yeah, a lot of people switching.
at least once a week, I feel like I hear a new a new player has left some other
Yeah,
team.
players joined. A new
Yeah,
team has
like I mean
changed org.
we have it listed later, but we can bring it up now. Fugly left CLG, so that's like again this was like recent too. This was like yesterday I think or today that
A couple days ago.
yeah, like that he left CLG. So that's like a very interesting development. Like who would have thought that Fugly's one of their best players in my opinion. He's always I always hear his name during the during matches when he's playing. Like I always hear like, oh, Fugly with the 3K or something, like like and he's always like putting his work into every match. So
Yeah, I
that's
guess they were just looking for a change.
yeah. Yeah, did he say that it wasn't his choice? I think.
I don't know. He just tweeted that he was no longer on CLG. I don't think there was any announcement
I
yet.
feel like I saw something afterwards. I don't remember, but I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter whether he chose to leave or if he was kicked off, but or his contract ended or whatever the case. But yeah, he's no longer on CLG. I don't think they have announced who's replacing him. They may have to try out some people, but
Yeah, they haven't yet.
yeah, nothing yet.
I don't know the next time they're playing either. So, all
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
right, next up, Selfless sign a lead analyst, Selfless GG. Another kind of unknown team, I guess. Some people know who
Somewhat.
Selfless is.
Former enemy,
Yeah.
which
Um,
honestly one of
I
my
think.
favorite teams, the lower tier teams.
Yeah, like having an analyst might help them get out of where they are into a
Hmm.
more top tier in NA,
Yeah.
I guess.
So yeah, I guess I didn't have one prior to that. So that's like yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, they were always like one of the better lower tier teams. I mean they weren't like top tier obviously, but they were one of the ones you
More
know
known.
of. Like yeah, more known with like lower tier teams. Like I've seen a lot of teams that I'm just like who are these guys? Like I've never heard of these people. But like Enemy was
Yeah.
one of those ones where like they even contended against higher tier teams. Like I think there was like a few years ago where they almost beat C9 back as they were Enemy. Back when it
Mm-hmm.
was still Freakazoid and when Freakazoid and
Sean Garris.
yeah, Sean Garris were still on the team, and yeah, this was like I think early, maybe like mid 2015. I think they actually like I think they beat them. I can't remember. There was some match where they got either close to winning or uh, beat them out. I think they may have beat them, but I don't honestly remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a good team and they have potential. And maybe with this lead analyst they could learn a lot more strats and get like fix their wrongs, uh, focus on their rights and whatnot. So
Yeah.
and
All
the
right.
the biggest topic of what we want to talk about of CS Pro CS is WESCA or sorry WESA. I keep saying ESEA because
The World Esports Association.
yes. I thought at
And
first this was going to be something when they announced it. I thought it was going to be something good, but from what it sounds like,
that's what they wanted.
it's kind of bad. Because from what I
It's
heard
really
was
shady.
yeah, from what I heard it was going to be kind of a union for players, but then I guess that is not true.
It's not really a union, but it's supposed to be like, hey, we're kind of a union, but we're really just a something you sign to that
mm-hmm.
we it's like a stamp. Like we're WESA approved, you know?
Yeah, that's not. I mean,
And the main thing that makes it shady is that ESL are the only ones involved. There's no other leagues involved. It's
yeah,
just ESL. Like DreamHack. Well, DreamHack they haven't made a comment, but they're not involved at the moment. MLG, they weren't informed or involved at all. Same as not CVO.
mm-hmm.
And I can't think of the other one. E-League.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't know about that, but like ESL is currently the only league in CSGO that is involved with WESA.
It's like they're trying to have this monopoly over all of esports. Like they want to
Over,
be,
yeah, Counter Strike.
yeah, like they don't want these uh, contending companies like on their territory essentially.
Yeah,
And Sir Scoots
and
tweeted out about it. Sorry, what?
they've like avoided some questions in AMAs and that have
Yeah,
just made it look shady.
I didn't even know they did an AMA. Oh jeez, I didn't read that.
Yeah, he did an AMA the day they announced it, and
Okay.
Sir Scoots actually asked them if teams were paid to join,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was
and
reading about
it
that.
had like 900 upvotes, and they didn't answer. They avoided it.
Wow. Like, yeah, and I was about to say, Sir Scoots tweeted out, so Whispers have told me not only did the teams get a fee to join WESA, they become exclusive to the org after 2 years. So that's like,
Yeah,
that's, also you put a hashtag, it's transparency. That's really interesting. Like, why after 2 years? Like, you'd think if they paid and they're one of the founding members. You'd think they'd have that exclusivity, but they don't. Like, and that's really strange. That's very like weird, like, and very, yeah, again, very shady like way of dealing with this kind of thing.
Another
Like,
strange thing was only EU teams were signed, no NA teams.
yeah, that
So
was interesting.
I don't. There's just a lot of things off about WESA that the community at first, or at least that's what I thought. When it first came out, the community was like, "Yes, we want this," and then they started looking into it, and like they just started reading it, and more things came out, and they're like, "Wait, we don't want this."
Yeah,
And I think a player union is what they want,
yeah,
but uh, I don't know. I forget who tweeted it. I think it was someone on Australis, but they tweeted, "We need to make a player union," right? And that was the day before they announced WESA. So that means
yeah. That's true. Yeah, I remember that.
what I'm thinking is that Australis was like, "No, this isn't good," and that's why he tweeted it the day before. Because like it seems a bit strange that he tweeted it and the day after they announced WESA. Like I
Yeah,
feel like a player union is what's needed, not this fake player union that is trying to use, like, they use a lot of buzzwords
hmm,
and they're just trying to become the the standard, I guess, a monopoly almost,
yeah,
but they're disguising it as a player union.
yeah. It's like super sketchy and like I mean, I get there's a lot of money in the thing, but it's like you can make a lot of money by not being scummy or sketchy at all. Like,
Yeah,
if that's the case, right? Like,
people will
if
boycott you if you become too sketchy.
exactly. So like, you'd want to like. I never understood that, right? Like, why big companies would want to be, uh, you know, more scummy to like whoever, because like if you think about it, if you do good and you give them like, oh, here's like a here's say a big company would like offer something like cheap, right, for the first time and whatever. Okay, cool, great. And if they like their product, they'll come back, right? And then maybe you can,
Yeah,
okay, first time was a bit, there was a bit of discount, but we're gonna raise the price a bit more because, it was your first time, whatever. So then they, it's like, okay, well, you know what, that's okay. I like the product. I felt it was a bit cheap, so we're gonna pay a bit. We're gonna pay the regular price, and then whatever. And then they keep coming back, so you get money. But if you're known as a scam, like a scummy, like kind of person or whatever, they're not gonna come back. Unless people are just naive and don't understand what's going on. But like, they're probably like, like I wouldn't come back, right? You can make more
yeah.
money by doing good than you can being like this shady organization that like wouldn't help. And I don't know if money is completely involved in this, but like, I mean, if they're asking for fees, I'm sure there is. But you don't want your players to leave. You don't want these players to like disappear from your organization. You want them to stay around, obviously, because that's the only way you're gonna make money off of this organization. So,
Hmm.
I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't know. I don't exactly know what's going on. I didn't get much information on the topic of WESA. Um, but
I think we'll have to give it a few
some
few
more, yeah.
weeks or a few events to see if it's just looks shady or if it actually is shady.
And when when you're
And
surrounded by a world of like internet related things, like it's not it's not uncommon that maybe somebody will hack your stuff and take some stuff out, like um or just like leak some stuff, like even from the or your own organization,
yeah,
to bring some sketchy information to light that would ruin you. So I mean that's on them, I guess. But hey,
I think it's too soon to say that this is bad,
that's
but
true.
from the looks of it now, it looks bad
Yeah, yeah. Like
because
hopefully they aren't, but
generally you can tell.
mhm.
Like if it looks bad, chances are it's going to be bad. But like if it looks good, it's probably going to be good.
Yeah. And
Like you can kind of tell.
at the same time, even if it
Because
looks bad, like they can fix it.
yeah, that's true.
So hopefully, it's not what it seems, and that and if it is, they change it. But you know, because I
It's too
mean,
early to tell.
and all the players are already speaking out like, I'm not gonna do this. Like I'm not gonna be stupid. So like,
Hmm.
if the case is what it seems, then we're not gonna do it. So that that makes sense, and that's a good thing that these players have, is that they're already speaking out about it. So like they're like, so that the people behind ESA are not like, whatever, we don't care about them. It's like, this is bad. People are already like kind of negative against this, so we should fix
Yeah.
whatever. Like, so hopefully, yeah, more
Yeah.
information comes out soon though. Um,
Yeah, and a lot of the backlash will bring out more information
yeah,
as well. Okay, well, I
well,
think that's it then.
yeah, I think that's time to wrap up our podcast. Thank you all for watching. If you guys have any comments or want anything else that we can talk about in that next podcast, which will happen every week, hopefully, around this time, Mondays, that we could talk about, let us know, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.